Hey everyone, and thanks for joining me. My name's Matt, and if you saw the previous episode, you know that I'm creating a series of videos to show my journey that I took from leaving my job in finance to becoming a self-employed individual and just trying to take a little bit more control over my life. Go ahead and if you haven't already, please go ahead and watch that video, but just wanted to kind of follow up with that and give some updates with everything that I've been doing since that's happened and, just do my best to keep you filled in as we go through this journey together. Now, admittedly, I've made this video already about 7 times, and each time I forgot what to say, so I did take some notes this time, and I'll be following through those as I go through it, just to make sure that I don't go on any long rants or tangents. I want to keep these kind of short, just give you the updates, but also provide some information with how everything's been going. So last week I did start my real estate school, which was very exciting. I take classes now twice a week. They are Thursdays and Fridays from about 9 to 5 every day. So it certainly can make for a long day, but it's a lot better than sitting at a desk 5 days a week. Would much rather be doing it only 2 days a week and actually learning something. And something that I enjoy learning or something that gets at least me excited. So there's kind of 2 big parts there that happened with the real estate school. The first one is the teacher started off by asking the class, who in here wants to be a millionaire? Obviously everybody raises their hand because who doesn't want to be a millionaire? And he said, well, if you listen to what I have to say and follow my instructions, you can easily become a millionaire within the next 3 years. Which is very exciting, but that's one of those things that I always like to take with a grain of salt because everybody's different, everybody comes across different opportunities. Certainly I think it's doable within 3 years, could be more, could be less, but I like having that 3 years as a guideline. I apologize right now too, my dog is sitting here crying, so if you hear any whimpering in the background, that's not me, that's my dog, and he's a little embarrassed that I'm not, or he's not embarrassed, but he's a little upset that I'm not playing with him right now. Another thing that also happened though in the real estate class is when we were going around introducing each other, there was quite a few people in the room that were a little bit older, a little bit later in their career who were previously working with the same company for 10, 20, 30 years, very long times, and had very good positions, making easily 6 figures a year, upwards of like that vice president level at their company. And just a few weeks ago, right before starting the real estate class, they were cut from their jobs, which is something that's always been a concern of mine. Having worked in finance, I did come across a lot of people that were in similar situations where out of nowhere they lost their job, they're now struggling to figure out what to do with money, and that's certainly something that I've always wanted to avoid, and part of the reason why I want to become an entrepreneur, so that this way I don't have to worry about being 2 years from retirement, getting canned for restructures or reorganizations or anything, and then having to push retirement out instead of 2 years to 10 years from then. So ultimately seeing those people that were let go, as unfortunate it is for them, let me know that this is the right place for me, as well as the teacher saying that we can be a millionaire in 3 years. That's pretty cool stuff. Again, very unfortunate for those that lost their jobs, but I'm happy to see that they were able to get back on their feet really quickly. Since leaving my job though, I would say probably there's been 2 biggest struggles for me. The first one is just staying disciplined. Now, what I mean by discipline is actually taking the time to be productive throughout the day. It's very easy for me to still tell myself that I'm on this vacation mode because I did give myself a few days after leaving my previous job to just kind of hang out, give myself a mental restart before getting into classes and then becoming more and more involved with the self-employment opportunities. It's been pretty easy for me still just to wake up in the morning and just want to play, Xbox, play the new 2K that just came out, or, as you might be able to hear with my dog whimpering, it's a lot easier for me just to say, okay, let's go ahead and I'm not going to say the word, but the W-A-L-K. He loves that, and, if he hears me say that, then he's definitely going to start crying, and the tail might knock over my camera. So it's pretty easy for me to go up, study, I look at him, and it's like, oh, okay, well, let's go ahead and, go on that W-A-L-K. So I've been making more of a conscious effort towards waking up in the morning, and if I do wake up and come downstairs, if I put anything on TV, typically I'll put on the news, because that at least gets my mindset going, thinking about businesses, and I don't like news per se. I'm not really much that's into politics or political reasons or anything like that, but I like the market data. So I do like what Bloomberg puts on in the morning, or I'll listen to a podcast from like Market Foolery, the Motley Fool's podcast, Masters in Business, which is the Bloomberg podcast, or even How I Built This, which is the NPR podcast. All of those are really great and all have to do with things that I'm at least interested in, and again, gets me back into that mindset of business mode, or time to get down to business. So those are some things that I've been doing to maybe keep myself in line. I've considered maybe getting like a whiteboard and just allotting a certain amount of times, or a checklist that I'll do each day, and at the end of the day just have to have everything crossed off, even if it's little things like the cleaning, laundry, yard work, just something to remain productive and not get in that couch potato mode. The other biggest struggle that I have been having without having a job is pretty obviously money. Again, as I mentioned in the first episode, I do have money saved up, so it's not an immediate need, but I feel like that need's going to come to me a little bit quicker, or sooner rather than later. So I've been trying to come up with some creative ways to make money that ultimately is not going to interfere with my real estate school. The real estate school is going to be the top priority for me, and I don't want to pick up a job where I'll ultimately be falling behind in my classes, or just something that takes up too much of my time. So I want to kind of keep that light. And with today being the internet day, we are able to get jobs online, or create podcasts or anything like that. So one thing I've been doing is I actually did create a website called thekettleddiet.com. That's KETTLEDIET.com. Basically, I like to cook a lot. I do a lot of grilling, smoking foods, and so I have a website with just some of my recipes that I've created, and it happens on a Weber kettle or on a kettle-style grill. Things like cooking, tomahawk steaks, picanha. I have some rotisseries on there, or some prime rib. Love steak, so a lot of those recipes are around steak, but there's some other things like jerk chicken. If you have a Weber kettle, or if you like to grill, go ahead and just check it out for me. You don't need to buy anything. I don't even have really a way of making money set up on there, so feel free to go ahead and check that out. I've also considered starting a finance podcast, since now that I'm not regulated and not really underneath anybody's control. I think that would be something helpful, because one of the things that I actually did enjoy in my finance job was educating clients. I had a lot of people that came in, when the market gets all crazy, that call in and say, sell everything, I want to get out of the market, this is terrible timing. And the ability to talk somebody down and just say, hold on, let's talk this one through here, giving them real life examples like, the 2008 crash, all those that sold out really missed out on the opportunities. When Brexit happened and we saw that huge dip happen in the market, helping people create a disciplined approach in finances, and just helping them understand it. A lot of this stuff is not very cut and dry, and unfortunately in the finance world there are a lot of salesmen who will use your lack of knowledge to their advantage. So I think maybe creating a podcast would be helpful to give people at least my insight. Nothing that's going to be biased, or nothing that's going to be telling you what you should and shouldn't buy, but more something to help you make more informed decisions and creating a more disciplined investment style. I did get a microphone, all that good set up for the podcast. I started making a few episodes, but truthfully, I'm not the best when it comes to like editing or finding sound bites, or creating like a cool picture. So for any of those of you who do watch this, if you are good with that, if you have any other tips for creating a podcast, or what I can do to make mine more attractive, I would certainly appreciate that. So just feel free, either send me a message, or you can leave a comment. I'm never going to tell you to leave a comment and hit the like button, but just however you feel like you can get that information to me, I would very much appreciate it. I think probably the last way that I have to kind of make money is my dog does have an Instagram, and he is sponsored by a few companies. We haven't really pushed any kind of sales on there, but if you want to follow him on Instagram, his name is TuckyT_ from NC. The first part's TUCKYT_ from NC. No periods in the NC. I'll link that down below as well if you wanted to go check him out. So that's kind of where I am now. Studying is taking up a lot of my time, but it's keeping me busy, and I enjoy the learning aspect of it, even through some of the nitty-gritty dry stuff that's, the law side of it, or, the stuff that people find to be the most challenging. I enjoy it because I do like learning. It's a relatively new thing for me to like learning, but, overall I'm glad to find something that I enjoyed. Well, that feels really short compared to the last video that I made, but that is all I have for my notes here. So if you look on the back, these are my real estate notes, so that's not anything important. But yeah, that's all I really had to talk about today. I'm hoping that you could see that whenever I held that up. I'll try to come out with these videos every week to provide updates. This weekend I was away at a wedding, so nothing too exciting. And I'll also try to make these videos a little bit more exciting. I don't interact much when I drive, so I have a GoPro. I'm sure I could figure out a way to film myself driving, because that seems to be a cool thing to do, but I'm more of a hands on the wheel, eyes on the road kind of person, so that might not be my area. And truthfully, I haven't even told many people that I've created these videos, with the exception of my girlfriend, so I'm not very comfortable walking around in public just filming myself. And if people ask, what are you doing? I don't really know what I would say. If you think that I should be more comfortable with it, again, let me know. But I think right now I'm just hoping for the few of you that watch these, again, we're going to take that journey towards hopefully becoming, financially free. You can watch me do it, and I'll fill you in with anything that has and hasn't worked as we move forward. But again, so for right now, what we're working on, or at least what I'm working on, is just more discipline in structuring my day, as well as finding simple ways to create a passive income, whether that be, well, not really passive, but whether that be creating podcasts, creating YouTube videos, figuring out how to monetize those. If any of you have any insight, please let me know. I'll be happy to take any information that I can, as well as just would like to hear from some of you. So thanks again for your time, and I hope that you'll hear from me again soon.